time. It's time for the Billy Flynn Experience.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight for another Billy Flynn Experience. I am your host, Billy Flynn. Once again, thank you so much for joining us on a Tuesday night. Not quite the hump day midweek, but we're almost there. Hope everyone is having a wonderful start of a new week. We got a few things to cover tonight. I want to change up the normal format that I usually do. And I wanted to, I don't know, maybe, kind of like shorten the podcast and more relevant, trending news or current events, I would say, but we're going to jump right into the first one. And once again, I don't know. I haven't really been following this this particular person's situation that's taking place over in Russia, and of course, we're talking about Brittney Griner. Yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right, but yeah, Brittney Griner. And I'm pretty much sure everyone has known or heard the story because it's been on a current topic. I don't know for many months now. I guess at least 6 months. That's it, maybe longer. But the reason I never really paid any attention is because based on the fact that she's a basketball player on a women's basketball league from America. And she's playing in the European League, which means that she's been over here often for her to be bussed or taken down by the Russian authorities at the airport when they found a vape pen. I guess you would say a cannabis vape pen. But I don't think it had a high THC in it. But anyhow, it's illegal in Russia, and the authorities had taken her, to trial and found her guilty, and now she's in prison, far, far away. No one knows. And what struck me about this, like I said, I heard about it, I've been reading about it, but I didn't really care to really talk about it because I kind of figured that, she has handlers, she has coaches, she has teammates. She know the rules, or she should have known better. And I don't know, the full story, we may never know the full story because all we know that they could have planted that on her for whatever reason. But they're saying that she was caught with the vape pen in her belongings. And again, it's against the law to have cannabis in Russia, which is kind of like an oxymoron, because we all know that the system of Russia and the politicians are corrupt. Everybody knows that. That's not really anything shocking. So, of course, this is I wouldn't even say it's a political move, because being that Miss Griner is a black woman from America, I mean, Dave Chappelle even joked about that black people are the worst bargaining chip when it comes to anything political in another country. They don't care. They don't give a shit about Black Americans. But anyhow, she's taken away. No one knows. She's far, far away, and she's reporting that she's living under very harsh conditions, like slave conditions. I mean, it's not funny, but she's now seeing the brunt of her poor judgment. And of course, it's all over the different social media sites. So I just thought it was very interesting because, again, her being a professional basketball player, traveling in Europe, making money, doing what she loves doing, and she has no handlers or no coaches or no briefing, and it just seems kind of reckless on her behalf. But then again, I can't really 100% believe that, because who knows what the real truth is. So the only thing I can say is, there's plenty of people in America in the jail systems right now because of cannabis. And even though there are many states have legalized the smoking of cannabis, but there's still people in the prison systems convicted of possessing or selling or distributing, however you want to say it, of cannabis. So just because she's over in Russia, I mean, I don't really have that much sympathy, because again, she was making money throughout Europe in the basketball league. Many people will never have that opportunity that she possessed at one time. For her to recklessly be caught with something that is illegal in the country. So only thing I can say is I wish her luck. But being that, as it's reported, that she's far, far away on some prison colony somewhere, that her loved ones and her legal team can't get in contact with her. Again, it's not funny. I shouldn't laugh. So, but again, once I say I wish her luck, and hopefully they will be able to work something out with America and I don't know, have her released. So I wish her luck. So anyways, the next subject on the topic is Cardi B, and this one kind of hits different because of the fact that she's having a hard time from the passing of her, I don't know, it was her family member. As everyone knows, Takeoff of the Migos was gunned down in Houston, Texas, like three weeks ago, maybe. And Cardi B has been expressing that it's very hard for her to calm her husband, which is her husband is Offset, and I believe that is the cousin of Takeoff, the gentleman who was gunned down in Houston. But Cardi B has expressed her feelings about not being able to make her husband feel comfort in this time, and I think everyone is kind of taking it hard, of this young man who lost his life needlessly. And of course, sadly to say, they are still investigating his murder. Even though there's video upon video upon video, and there's they're still kind of like shuffling their feet on that whole situation of his murder. So I just wish that I would send positive energy to Cardi B and hope that she finds comfort and peace in dealing with her family, and also Takeoff's family, his mother, his brother, his other siblings, that they will find peace during this time. Because I know it's very, very hard. It's very, very difficult, I know. But I just found that very, very heartbreaking that Cardi B is having a hard time. So, and speaking of crimes that are not being solved, one of the other hot topics has been trending is the young lady who lost her life in Cabo, Mexico. And I'm talking about Shanquelle Robinson. And I don't know if excuse me if I'm mispronouncing her name. I thought it was Shanquelle because of the double L's. I don't know, Spanish double L's is silent. And I thought it was Shanquelle. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing it wrong or mispronouncing it. So please forgive me if I am. But I'm just going to say Shanquelle Robinson, and how she was viciously attacked by her so-called friends in Cabo, Mexico. And that's another very, very, very sad situation because it happened over a month ago. And I don't think what a lot of people that are following this story really understand the impact that this will have internationally, because of the fact that her death was in another country, and that the people or the perpetrators are Americans. So the Mexican government is not going to move that quickly on this because it has nothing. It wasn't involving anyone of Mexican citizenship. And I think that's where the prolonging of this whole situation, and many people have been blogging about it. It's been trending. And the only thing that people are really concentrating on, yes, there's, from what has been said, there's 3 different tapes. Okay, they found a third one, so there's 3 different tapes. Recorded tapes on her brutal attack by her so-called friends. And if it wasn't for, I don't know, Twitter and TikTok, I don't know about Facebook, but I know Twitter and TikTok have been really on top of this. And of course, the other content creators on YouTube have been on top of this. So it's been a trending, and people have been putting the pieces together, connecting the dots that the Mexican government or authorities have failed to do. And only because of the pressure from the parents and the United States government that they decided that, maybe we should, seek investigation or deeper investigation into this murder. So they're going back and forth with the Mexican government, the State Department, and the FBI. They're going back and forth. And I know for certain that the Mexican government is very corrupt. The police are very corrupt. Everybody is on the take. Everybody has their hand out. And one thing that sparked my interest in this whole situation was One, that, again, because of the officials in Mexico, the reason that they're not really taking this, they're not taking it serious at all. So the reason being is that it doesn't involve anyone of Mexican citizens. If the perpetrator was Mexican, then they would do an investigation. They would have more pressure from the American government to do more of an investigation. Or if the perpetrators were Americans and the victim was Mexican, then it would be a completely different story. But being that both parties are from America, they don't care. And I doubt very seriously anytime soon this is going to drag on. This is what I think is going to drag on. And the longer it drags on, and I hate to say this, but this is the attention span of most of the people, most of the masses on earth, their attention span. Something else is going to take place within the next week, and everybody's going to forget about Shanquelle Robinson. Guaranteed. I hate to say it, but it's just true. Not to mention, again, that this is going to drag on. This is going to take forever, because I doubt very seriously that the Mexican government will open their doors to allow the FBI to march in and do any type of an investigation, because that means that the Mexican government and the police in Cabo will have to turn over all evidence from the information that they gathered. They would have to turn it all over so the investigation can be complete, or it can be substantiated by the FBI or whatever part of the government, federal government, that will have to go down there to do the investigation. And I don't think that the Mexican government can automatically demand extradition. I'm not for sure, but I don't think that they can demand extradition without there's some type of cooperation with the American federal government or the FBI. So either way, this thing is going to drag on. And it's really sad. It made me think that you have to really be careful at who you call your friends. Just never know who is really in your corner. Or your friends or your family, it doesn't matter. You just never know. But that's very, very sad. I will be very interested to see how this turns out. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to keep reading on it because, again, I know from my limited knowledge of travel going back and forth into Mexico. I know I've did a couple of jobs in Mexico at one time where I was there for 6 months on a photo assignment. And some of the things that I've seen, some of the things that were told to me by Mexican citizens. So I have a little bit of knowledge of how corrupt it is in that country. But, you know, that's a whole nother subject. So, again, I'm going to keep my eye on this. And I hope that there is some positive outcome soon with this Shanquelle Robinson case. But again, in my opinion, I think this is going to drag on for quite some time. So, okay, we're going to go right into not only the debacle of the Balenciaga and their ad campaigns, but Kim Kardashian decided to come out with an apology. And not necessarily an apology per se, but, you know, she's spoken up about her wanting to distance herself from what's happening, from what happened or what has taken place with the company. So, she put out a statement. I'm going to read a little bit, because this is not really, again, this is not her, boycott quote signs or distancing herself business. As far as business concerning, it's just more or less she's stating her disdain or her dislike about what took place and how it was handled. But her statement reads, and I quote, "I have been quiet for the past few days, not because I haven't been disgusted and outraged by the recent Balenciaga campaign, but because I wanted an opportunity to speak to their team to understand for myself how this could have happened." I'm going to stop right there, because she knows how something like this happens. She's in the fashion business. She's in the fashion world. She was married to Ye. Everyone knows that Ye has been in the business of entertainment for the past 20 years. Almost 20 years. But he has been in the business, of the entertainment business. So I'm pretty much sure she knows how the business is run, especially the fashion business. So for her to even say that she had to talk to her people to see how something like this would have happened, okay, I call, as they say, cap. That's BS. She knows. Okay, so she continued to say, and I quote, "As a mother of 4, I have been shaken by the disturbing images." Stop. We're talking about the same woman that have gained her notoriety and her so-called stardom from making a pornographic tape. And now she's saying she's disturbed by those images. Yes, there were images of children, but the irony of this is that what she's been promoting to women of all ages is the same debasement of the woman and the woman's body. I don't get it. But, okay. So, continuing. The safety of our children must be held with the highest regard, and any attempts to normalize child abuse of any kind should have no place in our society. Period. I appreciate Balenciaga's removal of the campaign and apology. In speaking with them, I believe they understand the seriousness of this issue and will take the necessary measures for this to never happen again. End quote. So, she, again, has not distanced herself from this company. And she's probably still doing business. She's probably going to continue to do business. But I find it ironic because in my last podcast, I was talking about Kanye West and what he has been saying over the past few months about these companies and doing business with them. And I believe really because of the fact that I'm pretty much sure that he's signed different contracts, different non-disclosure measures based on the company's history or forecast in fashion, and he can't really say anything because he's still tied into the matrix. So again, knowing that Kim knows this much about the business, and she's not going to sever her ties with Balenciaga. That's fact, because this so-called note that I just read, it's not saying that she severed ties with the company. She's just basically putting out a statement that she disliked what has taken place. Fine, yeah, sure, okay. My biggest find about all of this, and I've always said in every one last of my podcasts, is that follow the money. Follow the money. Follow the trail of money. And there's more players that will uncover itself. And I said that again. I said that in my last podcast. Is that for the company, I wouldn't necessarily, directly blame the company as a whole, or even the creative director, which is Dimna, Vasalia Dimna. Because of the fact that there's many different departments to put together an ad campaign. There's many different levels. There's many different channels that the editing, the photographs, the overall layout. Then you have the people, again, you have the people who are in charge of the project. You got project managers. You have the art director. You have the graphic designer. You have this the editor, the typesetter. Then you have the proofreader. Then you have on the other side of it, you have the agent. You have the agencies, the managers of the models. And if the models are of children, then you definitely have the parents involved in all of this. And all of these different channels, and then no one has stopped and said, okay, wait a minute, hold on. So, being that I'm not all into the conspiracy theories, I do research. And from my research, again, there's two different women that stuck out to me. And anyone that is listening to this podcast, just Google these people and you will unearth a lot of disgusting businesses that these people have been involved in. And the two people, I'm going to give you the first person here. Give me 1 second. Here we go. We have one lady, and her name is Lada Volkova, or Volkova. Lada Volkova. And she is I can't think of what is the word. She's like kind of like involved in the design of a campaign. Okay, so you have your stylist, you have your photographer, and she's involved in that aspect of it. But one thing that I found out about her is that how she has an Instagram which has been taken down, and some of her design work has been captured and it's on the internet. So if you Google her name and you Google her work, there's photos that will come up, and these are like years ago. Many years ago, these photographs will come up, and there's photographs of children exactly designed as the ad design that has been stirring up this controversy with Balenciaga. She's been doing work like this. She's been producing work like this for years. And again, there's images that you can find on the internet. And personally, yes, I researched it and I seen some of the images. I made screenshots, of course. Just for my references. Because once anything is put on the internet, it's never, you can't erase it. You can't redact anything from the internet right now, especially if the topic is a hot topic. So yeah, I screenshot the photographs again, and it's just for my archive and for my references. But I'm pretty much sure you can find them on the internet. And then the next person, which just so happened to be a photographer, who again worked on this ad campaign. And this young lady's name is Rachel Chandler. Rachel Chandler. And she's a photographer. And not only, and again, you can Google this. Please do Google it. Because there's information that is starting to present itself that she has close ties with Jeffrey Epstein. And we all know who Jeffrey Epstein is. Don't need to really get into that. And we know what he was convicted of and was in prison for. Had to do with pedophilia, in which he mysteriously died in prison. So this young lady has ties to Jeffrey Epstein. And again, she also have photographs on the internet with taking pictures with Jeffrey Epstein and taking pictures with Jay-Z. Had pictures taken with Kanye West. And a few other notable celebrities. But yeah, she's within those circles. And again, her work, because she's a photographer also, her work is in a carbon copy of the same Balenciaga ad campaign that stirred all of this fire. There's images of her work on the internet. And the agency that she shoots for, I got it right here. The agency is called Midland Agency. And she was the one who was responsible for the hiring of the children. Because they got it from her agency. The Midland Agency. So again, there's many different people involved in this, and it's not just Balenciaga as a company, but there's intricate little departments, the intricate parts of the different aspects of the company that have put this thing together. Probably not, because it takes a quick minute to change anything when it comes to print. Or when it comes to print ad, you can take the project straight up to the art director, and the art director look at it, and the art director can say, yes, this is good. Let's take it to the editor. Editor looks at it, reads over, and say, okay, let's write this off. Let's sign off on this, and let's take it to print. From that, anything can happen. I really refuse to believe that Balenciaga as a company, and who knows, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe this company is a front, but I doubt it. But then again, if something like this can happen, and as I said in my last podcast, there's been other fashion houses that were involved in scandal over the past 10 years involving racism. And also, I hate to say this, but anti-Semitism. Because I got to watch that word. I don't want to be flagged have my podcast taken down. So, and as I said, yeah, there's been other fashion houses that have been involved in scandals like this. So, again, I don't think Balenciaga as a whole should be canceled. But it does beg the question that how could something like this happen when there is so many different levels and so many different departments that have to physically sign off on a project before it goes to print. Because once it goes to print and once it's out, it's very damaging, as we all can see right now. It's very damaging, especially the subject matter in which is involved. But again, these two women that I named should be seriously looked into and gathering information about them. And again, let me say this. Her name, Rachel Chandler and Lata Vankova. Lata Vankova, and that's LOTTAVOLKOVA. Lata Vankova, and she's a very, very frightening woman. Again, she has the images and some of her artwork and some of the things that she has been involved with over the past years. And again, it's a carbon copy of this ad campaign that was put out in the name of Balenciaga. So, very interesting stuff. That's all that I have. Once again, thank you so much for joining me here at the Billy Flint Experience. I am your host, Billy Flint. Looking forward to being with you again. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. Be safe and take care of yourselves.